Disclaimer: this video is not made to throw any shade or hate to anyone but rather educate, speculate, and deliberate on a recent controversy. Hello everybody, today we are going to be talking about the recent controversy with KAACHI. As we are all aware, when KAACHI released their debut single Your Turn, it received massive backlash from the K-pop community, raising different issues with the music video and the group itself. We will be spilling the tea on these issues to hopefully bring some clarity to the situation, because God Jihyo knows that it has gotten out of hand. Debut. When a K-pop company is preparing to debut a new group, they are selecting from a multitude of trainees that have been training for years and for most of their lives. They are professionally trained in dancing and often go to specialize in singing or rapping. Even then, once the members of a group have been decided, there is a long wait before they release their debut single, as the group needs time to practice and perfect the choreography and vocals. The training process is not easy, and a lot of trainees sadly suffer a lot of mental and physical abuse for the chance to be on a stage and be recognized as an artist. Taking all of this into consideration, we can compare the way a K-pop group in South Korea would debut to the debut of self-proclaimed UK's first K-pop group. Looking at KAACHI's pre-debut videos, we will see that there was a change in the fourth member, not once but twice, which demonstrates that the group did not have a stable plan for the project, as they had to rush to replace the members that left. A video that perfectly shows this rushed process is Pluppy's video, where she reveals that she was asked to be the fourth member of KAACHI.
And I know for a fact that this debut was super rushed. Because if you remember the chat that I had with Nicole where she was trying to recruit me as a member, she said that they were gonna film their music video in 1 week. At that point, I'm assuming that Coco wasn't even a member yet, because they were still trying to recruit me to join. And so I'm thinking, if Coco joined after March the 15th, and they were filming 1 week later, let's say on March the 22nd, that means Coco had less than a week to practice with the rest of the members.
Go check out her channel, link in the description box below, as she provides more information regarding the issue. Thankfully, she declined, but she raised the interesting point that the group began filming Your Turn a week before they had found a new member. Not only does this mean that the company producing the group was struggling to debut, but also that the fourth member, which was later revealed to be Coco, had only a week to learn the song, choreography, and record the vocals. If we compare this to recent rookie groups like Everglow and ITZY, there is a clear difference in quality, as these groups have been training together for years and their debut had most likely been planned and filmed months in advance, compared to KAACHI's debut being rushed with a fourth member being revealed last minute. So taking all of this to consideration, does KAACHI qualify to brand themselves as a K-pop group when they have not gone through the same type of training that established groups have gone through? This is up for debate, but from what I have seen, the general consensus is no, to which I agree. I believe that the group itself was clearly rushed, and if they wanted to be taken seriously, then their management should have delayed the debut and released the song when it was ready to compare to the quality of K-pop debut songs. The audio is not the greatest, and at times the vocals are monotone and mediocre. The choreography falls too, as you can clearly see that the girls are not in sync with each other, which is most likely due to the lack of practice time they had together. In my opinion, the fault is not the girls themselves, but rather the management for allowing such a project to be produced without a proper quality check. If a debut single is not produced properly, then people will not be interested in what you have to offer, as it is unable to contend with established K-pop groups. It will be labeled as a flop by international fans and lazy by netizens. Koreaboos? The term Koreaboo is often associated with non-Korean people portraying themselves in a stereotypical fashion of what they think Koreans do. This word has been thrown around a lot when it comes to KAACHI, and in all fairness, there are pre-debut videos, especially in their mukbang videos, where the girls portray these stereotypes by acting with aekyo.
제인이 힘들어. 댄스 힘들어. 치킨? 잡채? 떡볶이? 나 지금 갈게.
What a lot of people do not consider is the harm this can cause to people that are from Korean culture. As with any culture, there is a constant struggle to separate themselves from the stereotypes. For girl groups, these stereotypes often mean that they have to portray themselves as cute, desirable, and polite. A major example of this stereotype being enforced onto idols is the main rapper of SM group FX Amber. Amber is constantly criticized by Korean media for not adhering to the typical Korean girl template, as she does not do aekyo, dress as feminine as her members, and does not allow people to comment on others' appearance.
약간 살쪘다고 생각하겠네요.
어때요? 본인
본인
기준에?
기준에서?
다들 이쁘시고 멋지신데 군데군데 좀 뺄 때는 있다고 생각합니다.
살이 쪄 있다.
설리 씨는 여기 팔뚝이랑 아까
네 팔뚝에 춤 한번 보여줘요. 춤 한번 보여줘요. 근데 이게 좀 찌세요. 본인의
저만이
생각인데,
예, 저만의 기준.
본인의 생각인데 다른 사람까지를 상처 주면 안 돼요.
Linking back to KAACHI, it is problematic when they attempt to portray this stereotype, as they are not aware of the struggle that idols go through to be respected for their talents rather than their appearance and mannerisms. A lot of female idols look uncomfortable when they are forced to do aekyo. So in this instance, although not an extreme case of koreaboo, they are unknowingly perpetuating this stereotype without experiencing the problems that female idols go through. Chunso.
Hello guys, I'm Chunso. 같이 스마트네. 20살. 예.
Now we are going to talk about the controversy with Chunso and whether or not this is another example of being a koreaboo or not. At first, I thought that people were blowing this out of proportion since it is just a name. It is a common thing for non-Koreans to change their name when they live in South Korea, as foreign names may be hard to pronounce for Koreans, as their pronunciation is different to ours and does not take into account the different sounds that are produced in both languages. Furthermore, I also thought about what if the roles were switched. Would it be inappropriate for Korean people to use English names? Is this problem a double standard? If you look at Korean idols, they often take English-sounding names in order to appeal to an international audience despite having no relations with an English-speaking country. For instance, Irene from Red Velvet, Victoria from FX, Mia from Everglow and Lisa from Blackpink all have names despite not being from an English-speaking country. Therefore, we could argue that Chunso is a name that would appeal to a Korean audience, as they would not have difficulty pronouncing it. From this, I began to think that people were blowing this out of proportion and it was a double standard, until I began to consider another factor. Culture. What people that do not understand how Korean names work, they are often made up of 3 syllables that each have a different meaning, with the first name having a meaning and the last name being your family name. In this case, Chunso means beautiful child. Although this name is not offensive, it is likely that the member did not take into consideration Korea's culture, as your name means a lot in South Korea. It is a representation of the person's family lineage, status, and can cause problems. Twice Zhang Yeon legally changed her name from Kyungwon to Zhang Yeon, as she was often made fun of due to her name sounding like a boy's name. As a non-Korean, these members do not experience the same judgment that Korean people do, and therefore will never comprehend the wider ramifications that names can have. So I changed my opinion and now view her name as problematic, as it does not take into consideration the problems Koreans may face due to their name. Does race matter? There has also been the argument of whether people that are not from Asian descent can be a K-pop idol or be in a group. To which I simply say that these people who claim this are ignorant. Here's why. When we talk about K-pop, we must not forget that K-pop is just a genre. It does not mean it is exclusive to Koreans, as there are many idols that are Chinese, Taiwanese, Thai and Japanese. Yet when they are a part of a K-pop group, international fans do not bat an eye, as it is now normal. Of course there are still a lot of problems with the Korean demographic rejecting certain idols because of their nationality, but that is a topic for another video. You would be a clown to not acknowledge that K-pop is a growing industry and there was less diversity than there is in the present. Most recently, dancer/YouTuber Eddie is an example of the diversity that K-pop has. His group, Lollery, is an official and recognized K-pop group by fans despite him identifying as Latino American. Yet he did not receive the same backlash as KAACHI did, and most people were supportive as they were aware that his Korean is not fluent. Whereas, KAACHI were called out for their lack of Korean and for not being of Asian descent. Another example is the project group UHSN that consisted of foreigners that did not speak Korean fluently and also received support. So what went wrong? I think that the main difference lies in the quality of the videos produced. Unlike KAACHI, both groups debuted with singles that were well produced and could pass for K-pop. If you are listening to them on Spotify, you might not even be able to recognize that they are not proficient in Korean unless you were fluent in Korean yourself. However, due to the lack of quality in KAACHI's video, it is easy to point out the flaws, but what I think people are saying about them not being considered a K-pop group should not stem from the fact that they are not Asian, as there are examples of people supporting non-Asians within K-pop, but rather it should be criticized for its lack of quality. Conclusion. At the end of the day, I do not think that these girls were intentionally trying to offend anyone, but rather were not aware of the problems that their debut would cause. We as viewers have to understand that ultimately it is their company that takes responsibility for the project, as the members were chosen to be a part of the group but do not have full control of the project. I have seen people leaving horrible comments towards these girls, and although they should take responsibility for their actions, they are still human beings that made a mistake and should not be sent personal hate comments, as it may impact them negatively. If you are going to talk about KAACHI, then do it as a criticism rather than throwing hate, because they will not learn from hate. Anyways, if you have any different opinions or anything you want to add on, then leave them down in the comments below so we can discuss like educated sisters. Make sure to like, subscribe and share with your friends so I can know that you would like more of these types of videos. Take care, sip tea, and stay hydrated.